Success and failure are both necessary components of life. All life, and including those objects of matter that aren't alive, all go through the same process of success and failure. Succeeding is the ultimate goal, while failure serves to teach someone how to succeed in the next attempt. If this cycle of success and failure is interrupted, however, and the person who succeeds does not earn their success through vigorous trial and error, what results is a person of selfishness, of arrogance, and a prime example of human greed. In today's video, we will discuss the effects of inherited power and success on the human mind, and we will delve into one of the most important philosophies you will ever adopt in your life. You must have nothing before attaining everything. As previously stated, success and failure are necessary cogs in the ever-operating machine of life. Things fail, we must reevaluate and try again until we succeed. Reality is what allows us to fail in the first place. Without it, we will not be able to properly begin the cycle of success and failure. What I mean by this is that when someone in the younger stages of life, so infancy to child stage, is placed in an environment where they are spoon-fed success, and they are not prompted to cultivate the results they desire via effort and cooperation with others, the reality of said child is distorted, as they're cut off from experiencing suffering, pain, and ultimately the real world. Thus, when the child develops, the reality of the world said child holds is turned into something that it is not. This interruption of the success and failure cycle can only occur if the reality is distorted first. Most significantly during infancy and childhood, but this distortion of reality can happen at any stage of life, even if it's harder to achieve. When we experience a deluded reality, a fictitious imagining of the world, we create fictitious, deluded logical reasonings of the world as a result. So for example, a child born in a gated community and raised by a wealthy family is usually raised in a manner that distorts the reality of said child, as they are cut off from experiencing and witnessing the harsh truths of reality. When this child develops into an adolescent and eventually an adult, they typically hold beliefs that are based not on logical reasonings of the world, but on pre-existing, outright false biases. To give a hypothetical example, an adult raised in the environment previously mentioned is in support of capitalism and holds beliefs that treat the circumstances of, say, a poor individual as a direct consequence of their poor actions. These beliefs are not held based on any logical deductions of reality. Rather, they are based on the biases of said person because they were raised in an environment where their reality was distorted. Furthermore, the success and failure cycle allows us to experience pleasure and displeasure, happiness and pain. Suffering is essential for the development of moral purity, empathy, gratitude, humility, strong willpower, discipline, and so on. Without suffering, we do not put an emphasis on developing a strong character for the sake of moral purity. Rather, we focus on doing whatever we can to fulfill egoistic desires, since that is all one knows when they have been raised in an environment where they have material wealth and whatever they want in direct access, when they are born into a life of inherited success and power. I am not intending to imply that experiencing reality somehow automatically translates into humility, empathy, lack of bias, and so on. I am simply explaining how someone who has their reality distorted will experience an interruption in the success and failure cycle, ultimately resulting in entitled, weak people. The most common way we see the success and failure cycle interrupted is through inheritance. When someone inherits, say, a position of power, the one who receives this gift often uses it for selfish purposes, often under the guise that they're doing it for family legacy, as if that somehow justifies them, or that their actions are actually selfless. What inheritance does is it not only distorts the reality of the one who receives, but it allows them to act upon their deluded sense of logic, even using their position of wealth and success as a justification, as a reinforcer for the deluded sense of logic. A rich man scowls at the people of the lower classes, pinning the blame on their laziness and inadequate performance in the labor space. This same man, however, neglects to mention, let alone even acknowledge the fact that his oil business makes a profit at the expense of people and land. Not only that, but he neglects to accept that he himself isn't someone who made his way to the top via hard work and dedication. Rather, he was gently placed there, shielded from any outside influence along the way. University of Berkeley did a study on the effects of wealth on the human mind. What they found is that more wealth leads to more apathetic behavior, that more wealth leads to less moral clarity. Most importantly of all, however, in regards to this video specifically, that children who were born into this wealth were more likely to fall into substance abuse, depression, anxiety, and so on. This can result in the child blaming his or her anger or suffering onto the people of the lower class, or even justifying moral impurity such as entitlement and greed due to the distorted nature of said person's logic. We understand by this point that inherited wealth and success often, if not always, results in distortion of logic and reality, in turn resulting in the interruption of the success and failure cycle. The solution then is to not inherit success or status. Instead, it is to cultivate one's skills through grit and experience, trial and error. This in turn results in the ability to experience reality, to develop empathy, to develop a sense of logic that is grounded in the reality of the world. This is the entire reason you must have nothing before attaining everything. It is because if you attain everything, without having experienced sufficient suffering and pain and loss, you will not be adequately prepared to handle your everything. Because you were shielded, guarded from witnessing the harsh realities of poverty, drug addiction, prostitution, and etc., and were shielded from experiencing suffering, loss, embarrassment, failure, and etc., you remain in an infant state of mind. Someone who is only able to act based on what he or she feels at any given moment. This results in the development of narcissism, pride, lust, apathy, resentment for those below you, and so on. In contrast, if you are raised in an environment where suffering and loss are permitted, where you are not shielded from experiencing total, utterly humiliating failure, you are in the breeding ground of great men and women. You are in a perfect position to begin sculpting a character of iron, a man or woman of great resilience, moral purity, righteousness, philosophy, and etc. Because of this, when you finally achieve your goals, or if your purpose is at large, when you come close to achieving it, not only will you be worthy, but you will be capable of handling the rewards and benefits that follow suit. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I actually recorded this video yesterday, and I said a whole bunch of shit happened. I tried to grind out a recording before I went to my Muay Thai class, and two things happened. Number one, the timer went off before I finished the recording, so the first half of the recording, it didn't save. So that's why I'm making it again today, because my original intention was just to connect the two clips and then make it one whole video, but no, they didn't let me do that. Instead, the video didn't save, so I had to remake it. The lighting was pretty shit, so I'm glad I remade the whole thing, because I was gonna remake the first section only, but it turns out that it didn't matter, because the timer that I set, like I had 15 minutes, or no, I had like 25 minutes to get ready so I can go to my class. The class was already occurring. I thought it was at 7 p.m. that it started. No, it was at 6 p.m. It's at 6 p.m. on Friday. So I ended up not being able to go, and I lost the first half of the recording. And I know it sounds like I'm complaining right now, but I was like, dude, that is such bad luck. What could it, like, I mean, it could have been worse, but like my phone could have fucking exploded in the middle and then killed me. But, you know, point is, I had really bad luck, so I ended up just remaking everything today. I keep saying this, I really don't know if I should switch to monthly uploads or weekly uploads, because right now I'm doing pretty good with, like, quality wise. At least I feel like the content of my videos is pretty good, but I don't know if I can keep this up for long. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to every single week come up with good ideas like this, because, you know, ideas, you only have so many until you don't. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below what you think, any criticisms, any beliefs that you have, I don't know. Comment best chest openings, whatever. Have a good day, guys.